NDPI was founded in 2010 by the Chevron Corporation. It's founded primarily to address the root causes of instability, which we've defined as dealing with poverty and conflict in the Niger Delta.
And PAIN Foundation stands for Partnership Initiatives in the Niger Delta. It's a foundation funded to establish multi-stakeholder partnerships in the Niger Delta towards improving livelihoods and employment in the region.
The work of NDPI is important to Chevron because it's a key part of how the company interfaces with all communities and the whole region. It's a recognition that Chevron is a part of the communities and wants to invest resources into helping making those communities more stable and more prosperous. The relationship between NDPI and IGD really kind of starts with the relationship between Chevron and IGD, and Chevron's been an IGD member for a number of years. And as we started to recognize that we really needed to have a different look at measuring the extent of our impacts, we knew that this was an area that IGD has worked on and that has some expertise in.
For us, impact is the key thing because that's the main reason why we're there. I mean, why we're in the Delta is to see how we can improve the livelihoods and improve security and safety and reduce conflict in the region.
Do an impact study to really see how our investments have been impactful and to see then how private companies can really look at this social investment and then link it to their business objective. For Chevron to invest so much money, so much capital into social programs like we're doing, there is a need to have that connection. That's what will make it successful. That's what will make it genuine.
NDPI is unique in that it doesn't just hand out benefits to people. It's really about catalyzing change that can be sustainable beyond our intervention.
Because of the market development approach that NDPI and PIN take, it makes it much more challenging to actually assess the impacts. IGD has really helped us to focus in on what impacts we're trying to achieve at that system-wide level. We want to focus on the behavior change of the individuals we're working with, because at the end of the day, if there is no behavior change, it's much more difficult to have the benefits and impacts be sustainable.
What this means is that behavior is changing amongst various actors. So what we needed to do was to understand what innovations, i.e. what new best practices, technologies are those actors adopting in order to create a systemic level of change.
They've really created a tailor-made approach to understanding our impacts.
IGD leveraged its traditional impact measurement approach to develop a framework constructed around the economic development, peace building, and ecosystem development approaches that NDPI and PIN are implementing in the Niger Delta.
It's been really helpful to get us to think about, well, what is our role in the Niger Delta and how can we focus more on being a catalyst for development?
The best part about impact assessments is that you learn a little more about your program as well. And I think one of the biggest learnings for us has been the idea of being really crystal clear about the change that we're creating.
Assessment has really helped to stimulate our thinking as to how do we measure the multiplier effect? What is the full extent of the impacts that we're having?
The approaches that we have co-developed has the opportunity to shape the field of development and how measurement is done for market systems.
NDPI is a really good example of where Chevron stands on economic development.
This really kind of represents a more enlightened thinking that says that the private sector has a stronger role to play in economic development and even in social development than most companies really recognize. And we really want to kind of prove what a company can do.
And Chevron would say that investing in communities is an investment. It's not about handing out goods and services. It's not about traditional philanthropy. It's really about catalyzing change that enables a larger segment of the population to get the benefits of an oil operation.
I've known Chevron for many years. I mean, Chevron is of all the U.S. multinationals, one that is very heavily involved in Africa, and I know one that has very, very much made a big effort into its community development program. That is the key to both being successful and being sustainable.
This impact measurement partnership is really important to the vision and mission of IGD in that it is a perfect example of a great innovative approach to doing development and how the private sector can really create change.
IGD is a fantastic platform that will allow us to, one, learn from a third party what we are doing if we are impactful, and second, bring that to other companies, open it up for discussion so that other companies can learn from it.
The core for us is how do we use the strength of the private sector to attack poverty. Niger Delta Partnership Initiative, Chevron's core program in Nigeria, has exactly the same role.